We just lost one of the great pillar stones of cinema, Jean-Luc Godard. And there's been a lot of talk about how miserable a person he was and what a lousy personality he had. But what he did was not leave us his personality. He left us some jewels, some cornerstones, some foundations for this thing we call movies, cinema, and filmmaking. The one thing that I truly admire about this guy is that he tried to discover and use every tool that was at our fingertips that we should use in this thing, movies and cinema. And sometimes after a while, if you saw his movies back to back to back, they started getting on your nerves. But it was he went to the far reaches, and everything that he did at the time or the first time you see it is new. Sometimes even for me as an American who likes a straight narrative, it would just get frustrating and sometimes confusing. But if you watch it again and again and again, you kind of saw the brilliance and you kind of saw what cinema is capable of doing. So, if I had to make a recommendation, people ask the ultimate question for filmmakers is, do I go to film school? Yes, I mean, there's good benefits for film school, but if you can't go to film school, I would A, read all the great novels so you know how a good story is told, and then B, watch the first 12 films of Jean-Luc Godard to see how you can make them great into cinema. And I think that your film education will be complete. So, I mean, Breathless, he introduced us to the jump cut, and the great John Ford, who by that time, we must have been like 60 or 70 years old, never used a jump cut until after Breathless. So that tells you what an innovator and what kind of inspiration and how far his influence is stretched doing what he was doing. So if you didn't like Jean-Luc Godard as a person, that's okay. But his films are foundations, not only in the past and what cinema can become, but very useful for those new avant-garde filmmakers, independent filmmakers who, by the way, if you want to make something cheap, go see Breathless. That was made on the shoestring budget, using carts to push through the streets. So his whole philosophy is get the job done, make film. Life is cinema, or cinema is life. It doesn't matter. But he should be an influence to any kind of filmmaker out there.